everyone. Come to bring you a short word this morning from the book of Genesis, from the New King James Version, from chapter 22. And I come to share with you the faith of Abraham and the confirmation of his faith as the Lord God tested him in this. And I read from verse 1. Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I shall tell you. Now at this point, Abraham had a choice. He didn't hinder. He didn't question God. Early the next morning, he rose and did exactly what the Lord had asked of him. Now this was his son that he had waited for years in faith and believed in the promise and the faithfulness of God. But so great was his trust in God, so great was his faithfulness in God, and the fear of God, that he willingly was ready to sacrifice his son. But then we go on to read, as Abraham's son Isaac questioned Abraham, as he noticed there wasn't a burnt offering. And it says in verse 7, But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. Then he said, Look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And he goes on to read, And Abraham said, My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So the two of them went together. Now you see the hope. Abraham knew if he was willing to sacrifice the greatest, most precious thing that he had, the Lord would provide. But he was still willing to do it. He was still willing to sacrifice his son. And when we further on in this chapter, because he was obedient, the Lord provided a lamb in place of his son. And it sealed the promise of God that he gave unto Abraham. You will bless generation after generation to come because of his obedience. So let us seek God. What is the Lord asking us to provide, to sacrifice, to exercise our faith, belief, and hope, that we may receive the promise of the blessings that come through obedience? I pray you all have a blessed day. May the Lord take you from grace to grace, from glory to glory, for his name's sake. In Jesus' name I pray.